You might be broke because you're selfish. And the reason I say that is because selfishness, when everything is all about you, is a state of fear and a state of scarcity. So you'll recognize people who their palms are wide open, right? They give of everything they have, and they're blessed in wealth and riches, sometimes financially, but usually they're spiritually alive and psychologically healthy and all these other things. And that's both a cause and an effect of an abundant mind, right? An abundant way of being. Now, selfishness, which is to say doing everything for your own benefit, not thinking of anybody else or anything else. That could be nature or, people or other moving parts in a whole system. When you're focusing purely on yourself, the energy that's providing is quite sticky, it's thick, it's like things aren't flowing organically and naturally. And this encourages and attracts poverty, right? Now, I'm very conscious here I'm very blessed where I'm from in the West, right? Although there's a lot wrong with the country in a way, there's also a lot right, and we can focus on what's right or we can focus on what's wrong. But we're very blessed. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably blessed in the sense that you're probably from the West. You've probably got food on the table and a roof over your head. And if that's the case, at that point, once your fundamental needs are met, you can start giving a lot more from your heart and from your spirit. It's not all about me, and take. If I can give you a quick story, I've got a good friend who, he's a great guy with a great heart, but he really dislikes his job. And everything that he does at work, I speak to him quite regularly, he moans about it and he doesn't like the people there, and they don't really want to be there. They're not happy, and it sort of reflects out to everybody else in the business, right? From the owner all the way through to the salespeople and the implementers within the business. But he's there moaning and complaining, adding to the problem rather than actually trying to either solve the problem and create a better work environment, or leaving if it gets too bad. But the reason he won't leave is because it's paying him a wage. Not a huge wage, granted, but paying him enough for him to stay there, which is a trap. It's paying him enough to stay there, but he's not grateful for that wage. He doesn't see the benefit in that. Or he at least focuses his attention on what's wrong and what he thinks should be happening. And this is a principle I think that a lot of people miss, is that you can choose, you can decide what to focus on. He's deciding to focus on the things that are wrong there and what should be benefiting him, rather than what he can do to benefit that company. He's more concerned about why what he's trying to implement isn't working, because it's all about him. And we can see that in everyday life with most people in reality, is that they're just really selfish. And that isn't like a personal attack, it's just a conditioning and a way of thinking. That they haven't had some sort of release, some sort of awakening, as it were, to a more abundant way of being. And that doesn't necessarily mean money, although there's usually a strong correlation. The freer you are in your mind and in your spirit, generally speaking, the access to capital, very often in the form of money, becomes more open to you. So I see this in the game I'm in the property investment game, is that I can raise money. I'm pretty good at raising money, and that's because people trust me. But also because I know that everything's going to work out as it needs to work out for the benefit of the whole, right? For the benefit of me, yes, but also of the benefit of the investors, for the benefit of the property itself. We're turning empty buildings into reusable homes and rental property, and we're selling to the first-time buyer market. We're actually creating things for the world, right? We imagine things and create that reality, right? If you're merely implementing other people's imaginations and other people's dreams, there's a limit to what that can pay and how much you can grow as a human being, right? Because you're not using your imagination and essentially your creativity, you're not using that. That's a gift that's been given to you. So when you're merely implementing other people's creativity, there is a limit to that, to your own self-development, self-growth, and your own wisdom. So just have a look at your selfishness. I catch myself every single day being selfish, being very self-centered, rather than coming from a place of like overflow, like a tree. I think in the Bible that the tree, the metaphor of a tree, is used countless times, and that I'm not a Christian, but I study the different scriptures around the world, and I think there's a reason for that. There's a reason we have the tree of life. I think it's a wonderful metaphor for abundance and giving and overflow, and the seasons of life when you need to go quiet a little bit and slow down, and then another season where you express yourself and you create and you essentially give birth to ideas and allow that overflow of your wisdom, of other people's wisdom. So have a look, where are you being selfish, particularly on your money making and wealth creation journey, because that's what I'm really passionate about. That I think the more good people, the more creative people get access to capital, meaning make more money, is what I'm trying to say, the better place the world can be, because you can use that capital to build and create things. You know, I see a lot of eco warriors and the green type people, I call them, and they can make a lot of difference in the world for the better if they had access to their own capital, rather than, you know, gluing themselves to the floor and all that stuff. That's, you know, a bit ridiculous. But if they could actually create something using the money that they make and other people's money who have similar mindsets, you know. So we've all got magic in us, we've all got that DNA in us that's been gifted just for us, right? And we need to bring that out into the world. And wealth allows that to happen. Abundance gives that fuel, right? So just check where you're being selfish, because that's usually a consequence of a very limited worldview.